Hello. So today I have something a little bit special for you guys. I am doing my part in a ring of puzzle setting and solving between myself, zetamath, nabneR, and Scott Strasall. If you don't know, all four of us have YouTube channels for solving sudokus. Zetamath, like myself, mostly does streaming, and then Scott Strasall and nabneR have been doing videos. And we've been working together to try to grow our channels together and collaborate with each other. And we now share a Discord server. So if you want to join that Discord server, it's called the Sudoku Solvers. And all four of us share that server for collaborative purposes. And all of our fans can come together and have one place to discuss all four of our channels, as well as my Sudoku solver and anything you want to discuss Sudoku-wise. And so there's a link below in the description if you want to join that Discord server. And so what we've done is I made a puzzle for nabneR. nabneR made a puzzle for Scott. Scott made a puzzle for zetamath, and zetamath made a puzzle for me. And that's what you're seeing on screen here. So the hope is I will be able to solve this in a live video. And I hope you guys enjoy it. It's definitely an interesting puzzle. I just read through the rules before hitting record here, and I think I understand them, and we'll go over that. But before I do that, please do remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Also, please do check out all those other channels I mentioned. I'll include links in the description to all the 3 other channels involved. And, you know, throw a like on the video and leave a comment, all that good stuff if you enjoy it. So this puzzle is called Antimatter. It's by zetamath. And let's go over the rules. So it starts simple. We've got normal Sudoku rules, and we've got normal even odd rules. So the circles that you see on the grid, these circles here, those just mean that those digits are odd. You can remember that because O looks like a circle, and odd starts with O. And then the square is even. It's the other shape, if you want to think about it that way, or there's an even number of sides on a square. So this one cell here must be an even number. But the main part of this puzzle are the antimatter lines. So the antimatter lines are kind of like a negative constraint as far as I can tell, but just where the lines are. Basically, we have to be careful not to form a valid blah, where blah is a large number of different kinds of lines you may have encountered in puzzles, as well as one that I think I have done, or I've at least seen a puzzle using this, but I do believe this might be a zetamath invention. So, but the key is it's not any of those. So let's go over the list. It is not I'm going to go over the list, then I'll go over what each of them means. The line may not form a valid renban, a valid nabneR, a valid whisper line, or a valid thermo in either direction. Additionally, it's not possible to make a valid arrow out of the digits present on the antimatter line. That is, no one digit on the line is the sum of the rest of the digits on the line. And the colors of the lines are just to distinguish which lines are which, because otherwise, it would, like here, it'd be very confusing if these were all the same color, because this is a line, and then this red one's a line, and then this one red one's a line. All right. So, what are all these things that they were not allowed to create? Well, a renban line is one where all the digits are consecutive, but in any order. So, for example, if I were to put let's be in the right mode here, 2, 3, and 4 on this line, or even 2, 4, and 3, just so you know, we're not in any specific order. This would be a valid renban line, so that's not allowed on an antimatter line. We also have nabneR lines, which is renban backwards. So if we read here, a nabneR line is a line on which no pair of digits are consecutive, regardless of their location on the line. So I would think that nabneR and nabneR not being nabneR definitely means it's not renban. That's sort of my initial thought here. But basically what we're saying is if we have a 2 and a 3 here, even if there's like an 8 here. Oh no, so no pairs. Okay, so we have to double negate. So sorry, I got that wrong. So let's say we did 1, 3, and I typed 2. 1, 3, and 5. Okay, so this would be a valid nabneR line because no 2 pairs of digits are consecutive on the line. I can't do, for example, 1, 4, 2 because the 1 and the 2 are consecutive. And so this would not be a valid nabneR line. But what we want to do is we want to avoid being a nabneR line. So what that means, basically what that boils down to is 2 of the digits on the line at least must be consecutive. But we can't make them all consecutive, otherwise it would be a valid renban line, which is also not allowed. So also we cannot be a valid whisper line. So whisper lines, as you move along the line, there's a difference of 5 or greater. So I could do, say, 1 and then 7 and then 2. And this would be a valid whisper line because 1 to 7 has a difference of 6, and then 7 to 2 has a difference of 5. And so as long as the difference as you move along is 5 or greater, that would be a valid whisper line. So we need to avoid this. So I could avoid this just by making this a 3. And then so now the difference between the 7 and the 3 is 4. This is no longer a valid whisper line, and so now it's okay as an antimatter line, at least in terms of not being a whisper line. And also cannot be a valid thermo read in either direction. So what that means is thermo, imagine there was a bulb here. It would strictly increase from the bulb end. So 1, 3, 6 is strictly increasing here. So this would be a valid thermo, or I could switch the 1 and the 6. This would also be a valid thermo. The bulb would be somewhere on one of the 2 ends. And then we're strictly increasing from that end. We're not allowed to do that. We have to avoid that. And finally, the arrow rule, which I did read out. So let's say I put an 8 here, and then a 3 and a 5. This would make a valid arrow. We could have the arrow circle here and the arrow here, but it doesn't actually matter where we would draw it. Basically what we're saying is you cannot pick out one digit and have all the other digits on the line sum to that one digit. So here 3 plus 5 is 8. So this would not be a valid antimatter line because it does have a valid arrow. So those are the rules. So basically that we just have the normal Sudoku rules, the even odd rules, and these antimatter lines. But antimatter lines, I admit, are quite complex because we have to remember all the things that it can't be. It doesn't have like a positive, this is what it is. It's more of a, you got to avoid this, you got to avoid that, you got to avoid that. So hopefully we'll remember all of those and we will do our best. And so if you would like to try the puzzle yourself, there is a link down below and you can click that and try the puzzle. And otherwise, I am going to get started now. So, hello. So this is Future David, and I just wanted to interject real quick to let you guys know that this solve ended up taking me 2 hours and 40 minutes to do. And as such, I will be cutting out large portions of the solve in which I made no progress. I don't think there's really anything interesting to be had there, and I didn't want to upload a 2 hour and 40 minute video. So here we are. I hope that's all right with you. If it's not, well, I guess just watch a different video. But hopefully all the interesting stuff is still preserved and you'll get a solve that doesn't take 2 hours 40. I think it'll still be a long video. I haven't edited it quite yet, but I guess you'll be able to see in YouTube how long this video is. And I definitely enjoyed this puzzle. I think you should try it. It is definitely difficult, although I think there were some things I overlooked which could have definitely reduced my solve time by quite a bit, but you know, when does that ever not happen? So again, please enjoy. Don't be surprised if things jump around a bit as I cut out entire sections of the video to try to get this to a good length. So back to past David. We are given 2 givens, the 3 and the 6, which is very generous of zetamath. So this is probably a good place to start, especially because the 3 and the 6 are both on a single line. So let's think about what this cell can't be. Well, first of all, we're not allowed to make a renban, but we're not in danger of making a renban with a 3 and a 6 because we would need a 4 and a 5 on the line to make that a valid renban. We're not allowed to be a valid nabneR. So that means that this cell must be consecutive with either the 3 or the 6. And the reason I say that is because a nabneR line is one in which no pairs of digits are consecutive. And so we need to avoid that. So we need a pair of digits that are consecutive. So I can immediately pencil 2, 4, 5, and 7 here. Those would be the only valid digits here because we need it to be consecutive with either the 3 or the 6. But we also need to avoid being a valid whisper line. I don't think we're in danger of that at all. Whisper lines change parity between low and high. So we would go low, high, low. But 6 is not a low number, so there's no way we're making this a valid whisper line. And it can't be a valid thermo. I think this is going to be key from either direction. So the 3 is less than the 6. This cell can't be between 3 and 6, i.e. the 4 and the 5, because otherwise that would be a valid thermo. So we're down to 2 or 7. And I don't know if we can tell, at least immediately, which one of those it is. I think either one of those would make this valid. We do need to be careful about the arrow constraint, though. 3 plus 6 is 9, so we can't put a 9 on here, but we're in no danger of that. 3 plus 2 is 5, that's fine. And then the 7 wouldn't add with the 3 or the 6, and so either of these is fine for our arrow constraint as well. All right, so now I want to look at these lines, probably, because that's really all we've got going for us. So we must have one of these be consecutive with 3, which is going to be either a 2 or a 4. So there's a 2 or a 4 here. In addition to that, we need to avoid making a renban out of it. So in addition to the 2 and the 4, we don't have the other 2, 4. We also don't have if it's a 2, we don't have a 1, and if it's a 4, we don't have a 5. This is all very difficult to notate. We also have to avoid the arrow and the thermo. So so let's say I made this cell a 2. And I think this is key here. This cell here, I couldn't make it a 1 because that would make this a valid renban. We can't do that. So I would have to make this larger than 3, and that would make this a valid thermo. And we're not allowed to do that either. So this cell's just not a 2, and it's the same over here. It worked exactly the same way. This would be a valid renban, and 4 or higher would be a valid thermo. So I can't put 2 on here. So we definitely are putting a 4 in one of these, which means we don't put a 2 and we don't put a 5 because that would make it a renban. And we don't put a 7 because that would be a valid arrow. We also don't put a 1 because that would be a valid arrow. So let's see here. With the 4, and then wherever the 4 goes, I think we're going to have both of these be larger than 3. Otherwise, we will make a valid thermo. Because, wherever I put the 4, if this cell is a 1 or a 2, that just makes a valid thermo. So along with the 4, we have a digit higher than 4, but it's not 5, it's not 6. So we're from 7, 8, 9. But we can't do 7 because that would be 4 plus 3. I think both 8 and 9 are fine, as far as I can tell. But that's a lot more limited than I thought. So now let's look at the 6, and I think we probably have something similar going on. So, in fact, I bet it's symmetric. So I think I probably can exclude 7. Let's see, how did I do that? I excluded 2. I'm already forgetting my own logic. Well, let's just take a look. So we have definitely a 5 or a 7 on here. So if I put let's see. I think 6 is a little bit different than 3 because 3 is 3 away it only has 2 digits less than it. 6 has 3 digits greater than it. So you could actually put digits here. Like I could put a 7 here and a 9 here. And I think this would be perfectly fine. We're not a thermo. We're not a renban. We are not a nabneR because we do have 2 consecutive digits. We're definitely not a valid whisper line. Not a valid thermo, and there's definitely no arrow logic going here. So I could put a 7 with a 9. That would be possible. Otherwise, I'd have to put a 5. So with a 5, I have to stay lower than 5. Otherwise, I'm a valid thermo. So I couldn't do 4. That would be a renban. I can't do 3. So I'd be with 1 or 2. But I can't do it with a 1 because that would add to 6. So I'm either 2, 5 or I'm 7, 9. I think that's reasonable. But I can't limit a specific digit here. And obviously 7/8 forms a renban. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's important to remember. Let's see. Where do we go from here? So this digit's even. It's 2, 4, 6, or 8. Excuse me. So this 3-cell line has to have an odd number on it, which is consecutive with this even number, which I know it doesn't say a whole lot. If I made this a 2, I'd have to put a 1 here, or here, I guess. Because if I put a 3, I can't now put a 1, and whatever comes after, I guess I could put a 2, 3, and then something bigger than that here. So this isn't as nice as having the digit in the middle known. I guess I could say 1's in one of these two. Anything else missing? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. Everything else has a home, potentially. I do remember these are odd. I just don't know what to do with that yet. So these are from 1, 5, 7, or 9, because 3's in the row. Would 5 or 7 be problematic? I don't see why. We definitely have an even number. We have at least one even number on each of these lines. And then 6 is even. I'm grasping a little bit here, trying to find our opening. Okay, well, let's think about 5. So with 5, I'm going to have to include a 4 somewhere. Let's just place it. Because 6 is used. Now, I guess I think I might have been missing a case on these already. I'm glad I think about this, because we don't have to be consecutive with 6. These two could just be consecutive numbers and then not consecutive with 6. The same with the 3. So in addition to these cases, I could have, for example, 8, 9 here. Oh no. So maybe all this work I did is only half the work. So I could put, for example, okay, it looks like these choice of givens may actually limit it. So I think I could put 7, 8 here. Okay, so I don't think I actually require a 4 here. I could put 7, 8, or 8, 9 here. They would be consecutive. And I think they are valid for all the other reasons as well. So this could be 3, 4, 8, 3, 4, 9, or 3, 7, 8, or 3, 8, 9. I think all of those work. Here, these two could be consecutive. I think I can actually put a 1 now. I could do 1, 2, 6. It's not a valid whisper because 6 can only be with 1s. Not a valid thermo. Alright, so I can put 1, 2, 6. Can't do 2, 3. 3's used. Can't do 3, 4. Could I do 6, 8, 9? I think I could. I just can't put a 4 on here? Unfortunate. Yeah, I can't do 4-3 or 4-5. Why couldn't I do, say, 4-6-7? All right, there's got to be some other way to think about this. Did I do this right? Okay, can I put a 1 here? If I put a 1 here, what's this allowed to be? Well, I'd have to be consecutive with 1. That would be a 2. That's no good. Now we're a valid renban. I could be consecutive with 3, though. But consecutive with 3, I'd have to put either a 2 or a 4, and 4 would be a valid arrow. Okay, so 1 is definitely not possible here. What about 2? I would always make a valid. I would either make a valid renban with a 1, or I'd make a valid thermo with something higher than 3. So that's no good. So I'm going to be higher than 3, that's for sure. Well, I can't do 5-6 because there's a given 6. I can't do 5-4 because that makes a valid renban. So I think we're still good here. Okay, so these markings are okay. But we don't guarantee a 4 here. Okay, so I guess one thing we can say, which may be useful. I'm actually going to start coloring, and I don't know if that's going to be useful or not, but might as well color. I'm going to use blue for even and orange for odd. Orange starts with O is the reason for that, and I'm used to it. So what I'm going to try to do is figure out maybe some parity arguments. So on every single, I think every single one of these antimatter lines is 3 long. I think we can make that observation. I don't see any that are longer. So every single antimatter line will have at least 2, or at least 1 even and at least 1 odd. We can say that because they're not nabneR lines. And nabneR lines have no pairs of consecutive digits. So that means they have at least 1 pair of consecutive digits, but they're not going to have 2 pairs of consecutive digits because they're not renban. But anyway, they're going to have 1 pair of consecutive digits exactly. And consecutive pair of digits, one of them is going to be even, one's going to be odd, just by definition, because they're consecutive. So every single one of these lines has at least 1 even and at least 1 odd. So can we use that to make any parity arguments? Like, for example, we have 3 independent lines here. So we're going to have an even and an odd. So we're going to have 3 of each used. There's only 4 even numbers. So only one of these lines is going to get, exactly 1 more of these lines is going to get another even on it. So we're going to have 1 line that's 2 evens and an odd, and then 2 lines that are 2 odds and an even. Don't know what to do with that. In this row, we already have 3 odds accounted for. So if I did 2 more odds like this, then the rest would have to be even. So if this were a 7, what that means is at least one of, or at least means that one of these lines is double even. I'm still trying to figure out how this helps. This must be it, right? Maybe. We have the same thing going on here. which I saw, I just didn't bother mentioning. So we're going to have two of these vertical lines is double, odd, and even, and one of these vertical lines is double, even with an odd. If either of these were double, even with an odd, that puts an even on this line, which could have two evens. If either of these lines has two evens, then only one of them can, and that's going to be all the evens for the row, so this would be a 7. Still haven't gotten anything out of that, but... Is there anything I can say... I'm trying to think what other constraint might be useful to talk about parity. We have renban, nabneR. nabneR is what we've been using a lot of. Whisper seems very hard to reason about negatively. All we have to do is like stick a 5 or a 4 or a 6 in the right place, and it's just not possible to be a bad, or to be a whisper line. Thermo is interesting when we actually know what digits need to go on it. Or like for this case where we know there's a 3. Like if we know there's a relatively low or a relatively high digit on the line in the center, that's very powerful for the thermo. Putting in another cough drop here. I think this is a pattern for my live solve videos where I sit here staring at the puzzle for half an hour before I get anything out of it, but we'll see. Okay, maybe it has to do with ones. So we already showed we can't put ones here. Can I put a 1 here? Maybe it has to do with ones on... Does it have to do with ones on these lines? So if I put a 1 on this line, I have to put, because of the 6 here, I can't put a 7, 8, or 9. So I have to put either a 2 to be consecutive with the 1, or I have to put a 5 to be consecutive with the 6, but I can't put the 5 because the 1... So if we put a 1 on the line, it has to be with a 2, because the other digit would be consecutive otherwise, like 5 or 7, even ignoring the thermo, and then the arrow rule would be broken, just by definition. So if I put a 1 on a line, it has to be with a 2. Now, does 1, 2 work here? It's not a renban. It's not a nabneR. It's not a valid whisper, because 2 and 6 are 4 apart. It's not a valid thermo. It's not a valid arrow. So, yes, 1, 2 works, but is there somewhere I can use that 1 has to be with 2 if it's on a line at all? So in these boxes, wherever I put the 1, I must put the 2. And every single cell has a line. So, and that doesn't go with the 3. So one of these lines is going to have a 3 on it, so it doesn't have the 1 and 2 on it. So the 1 and 2 go together somewhere. Now, what can we say about that? If this were 2, that would remove 1 and 2 from this line. And one of these would be a 3. That removes 1 and 2 from that. So the other line, which isn't 3, would be the 1, 2. And the 1 and 2 have to be separated. Because if I put 1 and 2 this way, no matter what I put here, that's a valid thermo. The other option is to put 2, 1 like this. Oh, okay, so they don't have to be separated, but the 1 would have to go in the middle, or they'd have to be separated. But if they're separated, then I have to be careful about whisper lines. I can't put 7, 8, or 9 here. So that would be a valid whisper line. Okay, 1s and 2s are probably what I'm supposed to be looking at then. But how do I think about this? So I can't do this. Can do this. I can do, well, ignoring the odd circle, I can do either way around it. But then in the middle, I'd have to have a 4, 5, or 6. Is it not enough? Really feels like 1s and 2s are important. Okay, so all 3 of these boxes have to be careful where they put their 1. Whatever line I put the 1 on, it's gonna get a 2. What does that mean? Does that mean I can't put a 1 here? Yes, I think it does. Okay, so if I put a 1 here, then I have to put a 2 on this line, and I have to put a 2 on this line. And that's not going to happen. So I can eliminate 1s from these two. What's that do? So 1s are not here, 1s are not here. Sorry, 1s are not here. Okay, so if there's no 1s here, there's no 1s here, then I have to put a 1 in one of these two. And that's going to go with a 2. So this is a 1-2 pair. That makes a 7 here. This is not 7. There is a 4 here. There's a 4 up here somewhere. Is this progress? Yes, so I can't put the 9 here. Or the 7. This has to be the 5, because that would make a valid German whispers. This is now a 9. Okay. What next? So this is not a 5. It's a 1, 3, 7, or 9. So these are a pair. These are 4 and 8, which works. They're both even. Okay. I have one more cough drop and I've run out. All right. That's odd. This needs an even number on it. It can't have an 8 on it. So for vertically, we have 2 consecutive digits here. It's going to be consecutive with either 2 or 6. So we could put 1, 2 here. We can't put 2, 3 because then the 1 can't be with a 2 and then that's broken. The 6 could be with a 5 or a 7. I don't see why either. Oh, hold on. I can't put 1, 2 here because that would be a German whisper line. So because it's not 1, 2, it's definitely got a 6 on it. And that's with a 5 or a 7. So the 1 and the 2 have to straddle a 4, 8. It can't be 1, 2, 8. So whichever one of these is 4 has the 1, 2. It'd be like that for this one. And then the other pair is going to be, let's see, what's going to go with the 8? What's left? I need a 3 somewhere. So the 3 is not going to be consecutive with 4, and the 3 is not going to be consecutive with 5, because then we would add to 8, and those go with the 8. So the 3, wherever it is, the 3 is going to go with a 7 so that it's consecutive with 8. So these are not 7. These are 3, 7. Okay, so what can we say now? So the 8 goes with 3, 7. That felt really important. Does that affect this 4, 8 or 4, 9 at all? Not seeing what the follow-up here is. This is all really good. So, is it worth thinking about this 5 vertically? I can't use a 1 or a 2. If I used a 3, I'd have to use a 4 with it. So we'd be consecutive, and that would be a renban. So these are both high numbers. So we can naively put 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Now, can we do better? We don't have to worry about arrow. We don't have to worry about whisper. We do have to worry about renban, but only 5, 6, 7 is banned. So we've got 3 of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 used here. This is not a 4. So the 4 is going to go with this cell, and then this cell is going to be... So okay, so let's say this were the 4. This cell here would have to be also lower than this one to not make a thermo. And it would be either consecutive with 4, which would have to be a 3, or it would be, that would include 7 from here, or it would be less than this one but bigger than 4. So that would exclude 6 from here because we couldn't put a 5. Well, except with a 3. Can I exclude 3 in any way? Okay, so the 4 goes with either a 3 or a 6, 7, 8, I guess. Three, 4 would exclude both 7 and 9 from here, so this would be even. 4, 3 would exclude 9 because it would make a valid German whispers, and 4, 3 would exclude 7 because they add to 7. 4, 6 would require this to be 7, 8, or 9. That's actually the least restrictive. 4, 7 would require 8 or 9, and 4, 8 would require only 9. This is not a 1. So if the 3 is not used up here, then the 3 is one of these two. It has a similar thing going on. So if the 3 is down here, this is so hard to think about. I'd have to be with a 6 or higher because I couldn't use the 4. Can't use 1, 2, 4, or 5. So I'd be 3 with a 6, 7, or 8. If the 3 were up here, so let's say this were a 4, 3. This couldn't be a 7 or 9, so this would be even. So we'd need... What do we need? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would also be a 6, 7, 8, or 9. This would not be a 3. So I couldn't do 7, 8, 9. In fact, would including the 8 be a problem? No, I could do... I can't do 6, 8 because this is a 6, 8. So including the 8 would be a problem because including the 8 would make this one a 6, and then I'd be forced to be 7, 8, 9. That's a renban. So this would be the 8. Oops, 8. Along with the 3, 4, which is not a whisper line because the 4 and 8 are 4 apart. These would not be 8. So I'd have to do 6, 7 consecutive with a 9. And the 9 would have to be, let's see, the 9 could be in the middle, or the 6 would just not be here. So I could do 6, 9, 7. Or I could do 7, 6, 9. Or 9. I can't do 9, 7, 6 because this one's odd. But either way, these wouldn't be 7. These wouldn't be 9, so that's a 4, 8. These wouldn't be 3. So we know the 3 was with the 7 and then the 8. So we'd be 3, 8, 7. And then the 1 and the 2 are together. Don't know. This all seems to work with the 3 up here. It's forced, but it works, as far as I can tell. What would go here? This was very open. I still need to use a 1 and a 2, but I can't okay, I can't use 1, 2 on here anymore because that breaks this. I'm already like... So 1, 2, can't do 1, 2, can't do 3 or 4. Need a 5 somewhere. So I could do 5, which would be consecutive as 6, along with... No, I couldn't. Because if I used a 5 here, I can't use a 1, 2, 3, or 4 here. Oh, maybe I could use a 2. Shoot, I think I could use a 2. Can't use a 1 because that breaks arrow. But a 2 It doesn't, the 1 can still go on one of these, and the 2 would be outside the box. So this would be 7, 8, 3. This would be 1 and 2. This would be a 9. And this would be a 1. 2 here. Aha. Can I just swap the 5 and 2 though? Yeah. No, that's not broken. So that might be it. What's the other option? The other option is the 3's not. Because the 3's not up here. So there'd be a 3 down here somewhere. This couldn't be, let's see, what's left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 used. So this couldn't be a 6, because then we'd go either 3, 6 or 3, 6 and then something higher. So 6 would have to go up here with the 4. So it would have to be 4, 6, 7. And this would be the 7, because the 4 and the 6, well, no, it wouldn't have to be. Well, the 4 goes in one of the quote-unquote bulbs, and so then this couldn't be a 6. This would be a 7. So this sells a 7 or an 8. Whoa. Hitting some weird buttons here. This is a 4, 6 pair with a 7. These are not 7s. I have to have an even number on here. This has to be 8 to be consecutive with 7. If this were 9, this would be 3, and this would be a thermo. So this would be the 3. Wait, where does 9 go? Okay, so this is a thermo now. Got it. There's probably a much cleaner way of thinking about this. Let's take a look. The 4 being in one of these two. What's this mean? I already forgot why 4, 3 forced certain things, but I guess we can say the 3 being in one of these two excludes the 6. Because if one of these is 3, the 4 is used up here, the 1, 2, and 5 are used, so we'd have to have, if we put a 6 in the middle, then no matter what we put on the other end, it would be a thermo. So the 6 would go up here with the 4. And the 8 would go down here, because we know we have to have an even. Hold on, no, but the 4 is even. The 3 would exclude the 6. So this would have 4, 6 on it. The 8 would have to go down here with it. So if I had a 3 down here, one of these was 3, I'd have to put an 8 in the middle. That excludes 9 from the end. So I have to put a 7 with it. So this would be a 3, 7 pair with an 8 in the middle. That would be forced. And that breaks, I mean, it breaks this too, but that breaks down here. Because without the 3 and the 7, this has to be 1, 2, but they're on different lines, and that's not correct. We know the 1 and the 2 go together. So 3's not down here. The 3's up here with the 4. So that excludes the 7. And that excludes this from being a 9, because that with a 3, 4 would break that would be a whisper line. That breaks the antimatter line for that reason. And so we have a 3 and a 4 with a 6 or an 8. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 used up and a 5. So this would be from 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know what removed 3 from here. I see. So if this were a 3, this would have to be 6 then. Because we wouldn't want to add to 8. Let's think about this more carefully. I may have made some leaps of judgment here, but we know there's 3 and 4 here. We can clean up over here then. There's no 3's here. We know the 7 is up here. Okay, so let's think. If this were the 6, this would have to be bigger than this one. So this would be 7, and this would be 8 or 9. The 6, 7 are consecutive, so that's fine. Okay, I can't put both 8 and 9 down here, because that breaks these cells. So 1 of 8, and 9 doesn't go up here. So this has to have the 8. Right? Because if I put the 6 up here, if I do 3, 4, 6, 6 is now removed from here. This is now 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, so that's broken in a lot of ways. I'm not allowed to do 7, 8, 9. So we got to include the 6 down here. So the 6 is not used here. Oops. I just wanted to remove the corner marks here. This is now a 3, 4, 8 triple. So 8's not used down here. This is a 6, 7, 9 triple. So this is the 5, this is the 6. Come on. These are not 9, so that's a 4, 8 pair. Okay. I feel like, I don't know how I think I might have been faulty logic. I'm a bit concerned about that. Now this 5, so, okay, we got to have consecutive numbers somehow. So if this were the 6, that would work out just fine. If this were a 7 or a 9, this would be 6. So our options are 6, 9, 7, because I can't do 6, 7, 9. That would be a thermo. Or this can never be 7, right? Because if this were 7, that would just automatically straddle it with that would put a 9 here and a 6 here, and then that would be a thermo. So this is not a 7. It's a 6 or a 9. Okay. Think. The other option then is if this is a 9, that's obviously 7 and 6. That's forced. If this is a 6, then this is a 7, 9 pair, and I'm not sure it matters which way it goes. But in this case of 6, 9, 7, this 9 would force this to be 8. We have to have an even on here, so these two are consecutive. With an 8 here, we just have a 3, 4 pair in any order. Okay, so I'm not sure I can do more than what's listed or at least not yet. So let's look at this box now. Actually here, this is a 1 or a 2. 3 is definitely down here. 7's definitely up here. So what about up here then? So this is not going to be a 1, 2. So we can't put a 1 on here. So 1 is now restricted over to these corners, which I suspected would happen, but couldn't prove it till now. So what's actually left here? We need a 1 or a 2 up here. For sure. It's the 1's not going to go here. The 2 could, though. So either the 1's here or the 2's in any of these. Along with not 3, 4. We need a 5. There must be a 5 up here somewhere. Not 6, not 7, not 8. And then we need we must have a 5 and a 9 up here somewhere. So if we included the 9 here, we couldn't put an 8, so we'd have to put a 5. So the 9 here goes with the 5. So if the 9 were here, this would be 2, 5. I wish I could say 2, 5 is broken, but I don't think it is. Wait, did I say the 9 would go with the 5? That doesn't work. That's a thermo. Yes, okay. So this is not the 9, because it would go with a 5, and that would make a thermo. This is a 2, 5 pair. That gives us a 7 here and a 1 here. The 1 goes with the 2 and the 4. This has an 8, and this is the 3. That puts a 1 here. This is a 9. The 1 needs a 2. It has to go here. It can't go here, because that would make a thermo. We know 1 requires a 2. We've proven that a few times now. The 2 looks up. That's 5 and 2. This looks suspiciously like what I had written out before. So now this cell here, let's see, I can actually color code a lot of these now, which may end up not being so useful, but we will keep at it for now. We actually know a lot about odds and evens. So this cell here can't be a 3. I guess 4 is okay. Can't be a 5 or a 6. And then 7, 8, and 9 don't work because that makes a whisper. So this is a 4. Even. Now 4 in the middle here is interesting because now we know this is higher than 4. So this can't be lower than 4. So this must be higher than 4 as well. And this is not consecutive. So we need an odd number here. And it has to be bigger than 4. So it's 5, it can't be 7, or 9. Now, is 9 a problem? Or is 5 a problem? So this can't be... Okay, this could be 6, actually. If this were 9, this would be 8. But if this were 5, this could be 6 or 8. No, it can't be 6. Okay, so this is a 9, this is an 8. This is a 5, this isn't... Wait, this can't be 6 then. Let me go over that carefully. If this is a 5, this can't be a 6 or we'd form a renban. If this is a 9, then we have to have something consecutive with the odd number, so it has to be 8. So it's not 6 also. So no matter what, this is the 8. This is... Whoa, typing wrong numbers here. This is the 8. This is 4. This is 8. So I don't know if this is 5 or 9. these eats look up. I'm sure that's not the next step, but right. Well, I've got this line here. So what am I doing here? One of these is odd. Ooh, I feel like this has to be the next step, right? So if I were to put a 1 on here, then it would go with 4 or higher. And I think that would work fine. If I don't put a 1 on here, I could put a 3 to be consecutive with 2, would have to go here. And then on the other side, can't put a 4, that would make a renban. So I'd have to be a 5. I couldn't be a 5 either, that would add to 5. So I'd have to be a 6 or a 9. Is that a problem? Ah, okay, well, I said I could be with 1, but I can't, because if I put a 1 here, it's going to be a thermo no matter what I do. So it does need to be, it cannot have a 1 on it. If the 3 is consecutive with the 2, it's here, and then it goes with, I said 6 or 9. We could put 2 other consecutive digits here. Now, what could we put? I could put 4, 5, and I think that would work okay. What I need to be careful about is I can't put 9, 8 or 8, 7, because that makes a whisper. So I could put, see, I can't put 3, 4 because that makes a renban. 4, 5 would be a 5 here and a 4 here. Five, 6. Could just go either way. And then 6, 7 would put a 7. Oh no, we can't do 6, 7 because we can't actually put a 7. And then 8, 9 is banned because of the whisper. So these are our options, which is a bit confusing, but okay. So what can we do next? I can't put a 1 here and 1C down here. So there's a 1 somewhere here. Means there's a 1 somewhere here. If the 1 were on this line, it would be with a 2. Just like this, 1, 2 pair. Couldn't put the 2 here because that would be a thermo. In fact, we have a 1 and a 2 like this, though. So the only way to avoid putting a 2 with the 1 would be to have a 2 here, and this would be a 2 specifically. I don't see why we'd have to avoid that, though. This even odd parity coloring hasn't come much in handy. Let's see. Maybe it's this whole thing here. I gotta be careful. This digit has to be smaller than this digit. Otherwise I make a thermo. I have to include an even number. 2, 4, or 6. Those would be the even numbers, yes. Oof. Don't mind my stretching here. Recording for a while now. This is a long video. So how do I do this 9? It just feels very open. I can't put an 8 on it, so I actually have to put 2 consecutive numbers on it. So I could put 1, 2, and it has to be consecutive this way, where the lower one's here. I can't put 2, 3, or 3, 4. I could put 4, 5, 5, 6, or 6, 7. Can't do 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9. So these two are consecutive. So I definitely have an even and an odd accounted for here. So wait, that's interesting. Okay, I've got 1 even in this column plus 1 in this domino. Even if I make this one even, I still need another even number in the column. These can't both be even because they must be consecutive. So 1 even, 2 evens, maybe 3 evens. Where's the fourth one? It's down here. It could only be a 6, which actually seems pretty big because now this can't be 5, 6, or 6, 7. Can't have a 6 on it, which means it can't have a 5 or a 7 on it. Well, it could be 4, 5. That severely limits these options, though. Also, that removes... That means these two are definitely odd, and this one's odd. So that's a 3 or a 5. And what were we saying about what that does here? So let's just redo these options. If this is a 3 with a 2, I can't do 4. I can't do 5. So I'm either a 6 or a 9. And then if I'm a 5 with a 2, then I need something consecutive with 5 or 2. I can't do 3, so 2 is not consecutive. So it's something consecutive with 5. So I'd be 4 or 6. Okay. If this were a 9, this would be a 5. I'd need something consecutive with 9 or 5. I can't do 9 because 8's used. So I'd have to be a 6 or a 4. Seems okay. All right, let's think about this more. So now we actually know this has to be even, because otherwise I still don't have enough evens. And only put 1 here. So let's see, what is this? Sorry for the sidetrack, but this is 3, 7, or 9. And this is 1, 3, 5, or 9. Not so useful. Okay. Okay, so let's look up here. This is 2, 4, 6. Not a 6, so this is 2 or 4. So we have this virtual 2, 4 pair here. That makes sense. This is either 1, 2, or 4, 5. Is there just sudoku to do? I don't see it. Two and 4 definitely go up here. Ah, okay. Well, we know this can't be 7, because otherwise we'd be rope. We can't put a 7 up here. So this is not a 7. In fact, we know there's a 7 up here with the 8. And then it goes with this 3 or 9. We got 3, 9, 7, 8. Does it have to do with what these are limited to? One, 3, 5, 9. I need a 6 up here. So the 6 goes along with a 1, 3, 5, and 9. We do have a vertical line here. Oh. Well, I can't put 1 on it. Because, again, 1 requires 2. That would break this cell. So 1 doesn't go here. 1 doesn't go on here for the same reason. Because we can't do 1, 2 over like that. Makes a thermo. So 1 is in one of these 2 cells only. the column. Oh my gosh. This can't be 4, 5. That adds to 9. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 4. This is a 3, 9. 5 C's down, so that's a 1. Be careful cleaning this up. This can't be a 9 anymore. Wait, where's 9 go? It goes here. That's not a 1. So this requires a 2 right here. That's 1 and 2. All right. So what do we want to do now? Three and 2. So this is not a 4. Looks like 6 or a 9 is still possible. Okay, what's next? There's a 2 in one of these two. So what? It's got to be this, right? So this 2, if this 2 had a consecutive partner, this would be a 3. Which would exclude 5 from here. Otherwise, this guy's got a consecutive partner. Hold on, let's color these. All right, so 2 could be with a 3. Otherwise, this has a consecutive partner. I could put the 5 with a 4 or a 6. The 6 could be with a 7 or a 9. And the 9 could be with an 8. I mean, this is literally anything. And this is any of those. What did this do? This can't be a 1 because this would have to be a 2. So that places this 1 and this 2. Okay, please tell me that did something. This is not a 1-2 pair. Ah, it places this 2 by sudoku. So what are these from? We have 1, 2, 3. I need 4, 5, 6, 9. Is there these two? Okay, here we go. These two have to be consecutive. If I include the 9, then I don't get 2 consecutive numbers. So these don't have the 9 in them. So this is 5, this is 6. Just double checking that these all work. It looks like they do. This is not 5, this is not 6. So this is not 5, 6. So this is 4, 9. I think I've been in here before. So this can't be between 4 and 9. This has to be from 1, 2, or 3. 1 and 2 are used. So this is a 3. It's odd. I said odd, right? So there's a 3 in one of these two. I have 4 cells left here. I need a 1. That goes one of these two. I have 2, 3. I need 4. Not there. 5, 6. I need 7 and 8. All right. Four, 7, or 8. That would work well with this 3, 4. I know the 4 is in here somewhere. Actually, this is not a 4, so the 4 is one of these two. I don't think doing this is useful. These are 3, 7, 8, 9. Very hard to keep 8 off this line, but it can hide right there. If it did, this would be 4. This 7, 8, 9 possibility here actually makes it easy to have 2 consecutives. But we have to be careful about thermo. And we can't, okay. So we can't put 7, 8, 9 on here because that would be a renban. So at least the 3 or the 4 is on here. What can I do with that? Could it be both? Easily. It would be 3, 4, and then 8 or 9, because the 7 would be out by the error logic. The 3 by itself here would put 7, 8, or 8, 9 here. Just also fine. Makes a 7, 8 pair here. This would be 1, this would be 4. A 4 by itself. This would have to be 8, 7 to not make a thermo. So 4, 8, 7. I don't think I can do much with that right now. Oh, that actually doesn't work. Because 4, 8, 7 puts a 1 here, and then what's this? 1, 4, 7, and 8 are all used. But this could still be 4 if this was a 3, because then this could be 4, 3, and then 8 or 9. Does that exclude anything? So we're either 4, 3 with an 8, 9, or we're 3 by ourselves here, and then this is 7, 8, or 8, 9. But in any order we want. So no, that's not helpful. But if this was 3 by itself, this would be 4. This would be 1. This would be a 7, 9 pair. That works pretty well. Okay, there's somewhere else to look then. Tough puzzle. I'm still kicking myself over the 4 or 5 that I had there for an hour. All right, okay, so 2's in this box now. They're definitely on one of these lines. So what does that mean? A 2 here is problematic because we have to avoid a thermo, but I mean, we can always just swap high-low here. Wait, hold on. Would a 3 by itself break Whisper? I couldn't do 8, 9. So I'd have to include a 7. So a 3 forces a 7 to be included here. Or I said 3, 4 works. That excludes the 7. Wait, does that mean there's always a 3 here? Did I just not think about that? If there's not a 3 here, this has to be a 4 by itself. I thought I said 4 by itself doesn't work. This would have to be 8, 7. 4, 8, 7, 1. That breaks this cell. So this has to be a 3 no matter what. Tell me that does something. Well, we know now that this can't be 8, 9. If this was a 9, this would have to be a 4. There's a 3 up here somewhere. Limiting 2 over here seems pretty nice. But 1s. Okay, I can no longer put a 1 here because I can't put a 2. So 1's limited to one of these 3. A 1 here would force this 2. And this could be practically anything. Not a 3. It'd be 3 anyway. Put 1 up here. Yeah, 1's one of these 2. And I can't, okay, I can't put a 2 on this line. So this is not a 1. So the 1 goes here. That forces 1 off the line. It's less interesting. But where you still have something going. This 3 is odd. I don't think I've used the odd even much at all. I used it once, and that's enough. Alrighty, what do we got? This 1 sees over. Places this 1. How are we doing on 1s? I should be able to place the last one. It's right here. Very cool. What 2s? Ah, this 2 sees over. Places this 2. How long has that been there? That's been there for a while. What did I do? Alright. Okay, let's look at 3s. I think sudoku is the way to go at this point. This can't be 3. So 3, not as constrained. Well, actually, I think 3 in this column has to be in one of these 2. These 3s, yeah, these 3s knock it out of here. So 3's in one of these 2. That lines up here. And then these 3's line up. Okay, let's look at more digits. Okay, I think both 4. Okay, so 5s are limited here. When I was looking at 4s, I thought something similar happened, but maybe not. No. Not seeing anything. Oh, it's 8s. 8s and 5s are limited to the same 3 cells. But here we are. All right, so what's actually left here? We have 1, 2, we need 3, 6, 7, and 9. Nothing sees from above. So specifically for this cell, if it's a 3, and this is from 7, 8, or 9. If it's a 6, this has to be consecutive with, so we can't be consecutive with 2, right? So unless the 3 goes here. So if it's a 6, then we need to be a 5 or a 7. I think 5 is possible. Would 6, 2, 5 do anything interesting? Yes, actually. 6, 5 breaks these. So I can't actually do 6, 5. I could do 6, 7. That would put 7, 5 here. Okay. 7 would put 6 or 8 here, not a 6. So 7 would put 8 here. And 9 would put 8 here. But this can't be 9 because it can't be consecutive with anything there. So actually, this is a 7 or an 8. It can't actually be 5. Yeah, 5 would require a 6 here, and that breaks. So now 5 is in one of these two. That's not a 5. 5 goes here. It's odd. So this cell is a 4, 7, 8, 9, not an 8. If 4 were here, we're either forced to put a 5 here, or these two are consecutive. What do we have left here? We have 1, 2, 3 placed. We need 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is not 5 or 8. Is there something going on up here? 5, 6, 7, 8. It says both a 5 and a 6 up here. Wait. Yeah, 9's limited down here. It says 5 and 6. What can I do? I have to be careful not to make a thermo and not to make a whisper. So what does that mean? This is higher than this for sure, but not too much higher, or make a whisper. So I can't put a 1 or a 3 here. I can't put a 1. Could I put a 3 here? Unfortunately, I think the answer is yes. No, I can't. 3s are limited to these two because of this X-wing. So because 1 and 3 can't go here, these are two consecutive digits that the higher one is lower than the top one. So I could go, I can't go 4, 3. I can't go 5, 4. Can I go 6, 5? Yes. Can I go 7, 6? Maybe. This would be 8. This would be 9 or 3. Both of which work. I don't see why not. This can't be 8, 7 because of that. Can this be 9, 8? I think so. Well, it's more limited than I thought it would be. And we have to be careful about, well, no, we know these are consecutive, so they're not going to do anything with whispers because they're consecutive. So not much to be careful about there. Can I eliminate any of these options? Maybe with this. Okay. What's the 4 consecutive with? It could be consecutive with this 5. If that were the case, this could not be a 3. What could it be? 4, 5. It would have to be lower than 5, but not a 3. It can't do that. Otherwise, make a thermo. So this actually can't be a 5. Because I can't make a thermo, so it can't be 6, 7, 8, or 9. And I can't make it a 3 because that would be a 3, 4, 5 renban, and 1 and 2 are used. So this is not a 5. That means that's not a 6. Okay. 7, 9 pair now. Let's deal with that. Yes, absolutely. Let's deal with that. So now this is an 8. It's even. By the way, 7, 9 is odd. 6, 8 is even. So these are not 8s. These are not 8s. Without an 8 here, in order to be consecutive, I've got to use the 4. That's our even on our... and then they can't add to 7, so that's 9, that's 7. Wow, did this actually give something up? I am so happy. All right. We have this box done. That looks up. These are not 7. Wow, okay, are we actually solving this? I really hope so. Unless I broke it like 2 hours ago and didn't realize it. Okay. I don't think this is resolving yet, but we got more down here, so this is a 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we still have this 7, 9 pair, so that's not a 7. That's not a 7. Whoa. I drew a line. Okay. What is happening? Oh, my hand's offset. Okay. That would do it. Okay. Ah, this sees a 7. That's 6. That's 7. This is a 3 now. Perfect. Okay. 2, 3, 8 works. That's not a 3. Oops. Just a 3. Getting excited. Oh, actually, this is done. This is a 9. That's odd. That's even. That's odd. I'm sure I don't need the coloring anymore, but I refuse to stop. It's not a 4. Not a 9. So that's a 7. These are not 7s. What can I do here? This is even. A 6, 7 here would force this to be 4. So there's always a 4 in one of these two. Because without a 4, I am absolutely definitely a renban. So this is not a 4. So along with the 4, I've either got a 5 or a 6, and both of those work. All right, we gotta look elsewhere. I didn't finish looking at this, but I'm hoping it just resolves itself. Yes, this 3 looks up. Well, we got more to resolve, at least. 9 looks up. Yes, this 8 looks up. It did resolve. So that's 6, 7. That's an 8. It's not a 6. This 8 looks over. We have 4, 5, 6, 9. This is not a 9. It's an interesting digit to have in the middle to some extent. Okay, well, how about here? So this has to be consecutive with 4 or 6. Can't be a 5 because that would be a renban. So it's got to be the extreme, and it can't be a 7. So I think this has to be 3. If it's not a 3, it can't be a 5, can't be a 7. Okay, yeah, so it's a 3. It's odd. 4, 6, 9 is left. Just double checking. Oh, not 6s. 6 in the box. That's these down. That's 5. This is now a 4, 6 pair. I think we're finishing. Just gotta be careful. 3s and 7s are both odd. 5s and 9s are both odd. Okay, it's got to be this line here. It's really the only thing left to do. So if this is a 4, that's a 9. I need something consecutive with either 4 or 9. It's not going to be a 3. It could be a 5. No, I can't do 4, 5, 9. I learned that over here. And so then it would have to be an 8. So it would be 4, 9, 8. That seems to work. If it's a 5, less restriction. 5, we'll put 6, 9, 4, 9. Okay, so a 5 here puts 6, 9, 4, 9. So this would be 5, 4. So this would be less than 5. And it can't be. So we're a 4. Okay, so we're 4, 9, 8. It's the only way to do it. This is not a 9. This is 4, 9. Why do I have so many things? This is a 3. That's not an 8. Uh-oh, okay. 8 goes here. Let's start coloring again. That's a 7. It's a 9. I need a 5 here. 6 or 7, 4, 6. Okay, so this is 6. This is 7. That's 9. That's 6. I really hope this all works out. This is a 4. I have a deadly pattern. It's got to be resolved somehow here. This has to be consecutive with either 2 or 7. 5 is not consecutive with either of those. This is 6. This is 5. This is 6. This is 5. And I think we did it. All right. Well, zetamath, I can't believe you thought I could live solve that on a video, but I guess I did, technically. I don't know how much I ended up cutting out of this video. If I don't cut anything out of the video, it's 2 hours and 38 minutes long, so I probably cut something out. But for full disclosure, that's how long it took me to solve this puzzle. Thanks, zetamath, for... I mean, it was definitely fun, but I got super stuck. But that was probably my own fault for considering 459 as a possibility for so long. And I might actually just cut out the entire part where 459 was there. But I have to rewatch the footage to see if there's anything important there. I assume you guys don't want to watch a 2 hour and 40-minute video, so hope you appreciate me actually cutting parts out. If not, well, you can always watch the live stream where nothing gets cut out. And so with that, thank you everybody. Again, if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Also, please do check out the other 3 channels in our loop. Check out zetamath for sure. Thank you for this puzzle. Check out Bramster. Check out Scott Strossall. His channel is called Scott Stro Solves, which is very clever. Also, check out our Discord server. I have a Patreon if you'd like to join my Patreon and support me on a monthly basis. And I also stream every Thursday and Saturday. You can see my stream schedule in my community posts or on the Discord server. And with that, thank you, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed this puzzle. I certainly did, although it took me a long time. And thanks for watching.